And Morris has reached that location. What's going on there? Lawful unit needs to go. Hey, found plate armor. Good. It seems that unit's on the move, which means Troy probably caught its attention. Break camp. And keep heading to your destination. Kojiro, are you rested? You are. And you're the neutral. I'm hoping Vega is neutral enough. Because I'm almost certain Kojiro isn't. Kojiro, go into the mountains to back her up. Wow, this is a fairly exciting battle, isn't it? Lots of activity, lots of things happening everywhere at once. Ha 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 ha! Your attack-based class is not enough to break through the phalanx wall that is Troy. Speaking of phalanx walls, the cataphract unit, character I should say, class I should say, is extremely difficult to level up to. You need a lot of vitality, and Troy and his buddy there are not quite there. So cataphract is probably going to be one of the last classes I unlock, in theory. I said the same thing about Ninja Master at one point, didn't I? I should have paid more attention to its stats. Having a lot of stats that are required that were less than 100 was pretty significant. We may have lost, but we killed your leader, so you are no longer a threat. In theory. That said, head to the stronghold to rest up. Alright, bad guys arrived at the destination. I need you... Oops. Commands... Retreat. That done, I will now go to the organize screen, and I will use an item. I will use a revive stone on the sorceress there. Even though I will leave this unit dispatched on base, but I'm not going to move them anywhere. They're just my insurance in case something goes wrong. This is not a unit I plan on leveling in this game and keeping around, is what I'm trying to get at. They're a useful unit to throw at a horde of enemies. Alright, so let me see exactly how I want to handle this situation. I think I'm going to put Leia into the forest to the north. Go to the forest. Then I'm going to use wind to gain the attention... Oops, no. Of that Swordmaster unit. Once that's done, I will head in and try and take out the Black Knight unit myself. Because we need a very powerful healing composition to be able to handle that Tiamat. Alright, just a little bit closer there, Leia. Troy's there to rest. Let's move your position so you're facing a better direction. Alright. Get closer then. Kojiro, head to the mountains. Alright, not close enough to get the attention of either unit yet. Beatrice, the Freya, surrounded by 2 Valkyries and some Freyas. So, and the town itself, Gypsyville, is neutral. So, Kojiro, you're going to have to scare off that unit. Leia, move up a little bit more. Same with you, Wind. Alright. Good. The Siren we have the Siren's attention. And we have the Swordmaster's attention. Everything is coming up roses. Alright, Balera, I'm gonna start sending Bolt up there. 3, 2, 1. Morris, I'll send you up there. And what do we have here? Celine the Siren. Fairly chaotic unit. Bolt should be able to handle it. And we found the Arc Wand. Awesome. More wands is good. Wands increase the power of our sorceresses, which, you know, more damage is good damage. At least when we are doing it. We need that sorceress dead. I mean, that Siren dead. Remember, this is an upgraded version of the sorceress, so yeah, killing her fast. Oh, just barely and not enough damage. She's going to get a spell cast off. We'll be fine. We'll survive it. It's just would have been nice to have not dealt with it. What are those swords those goblins are wielding? They're fancy looking. I want them. Haha, good crit. Leia's unit is doing work. They may have fizzled out by 2 damage, but the rest of the damage is going quite well. That said, good guard, perfect guard, and a win. Leader dead, so that unit is going to be cleaned up later. Which means move to the stronghold and rest, while Troy moves his unit forward. I want to keep making sure I have a certain amount of units that are heading in every time. Alright, Wind is going after Ken. Thankfully, the 3 frontliners are going to get some work done. Also, combination magic is going to be difficult in this group until Wind himself is an archmage, so we won't be seeing combination magic for a little while. That said, Saradin will also get work done, and darn him! Ken is just blocking everything. Uh-oh. Morris! Not Morris, that's not Morris. That's just a ninja. That's a ninja who died. That's not good. That could have gone better. That could have gone a lot better. I don't know where the Witch's Den is. But I probably have an Altar of Resurrection on Dio's Wind group, because Dio had a reputation for losing characters. He does. Use item. Altar of Resurrection on Montana. I'm beginning to think I need to switch Montana's class. Ninjas just don't have enough defense. Sorry, Morris. To be able to stand in the front line all the time. Morris makes up for it by, being Morris. Alright, start heading for Gypsonville. And I need to be very careful to move Kojiro away once he wins this fight, assuming he wins it. Which I am. Even watch these Freyas in the back row, though. They're going to deal... I think they have special advanced magic. Ooh, nice staff. Nice thing. Yep, that's advanced thunder magic. Thankfully, Kojiro's beefy enough that he can take it. We're not going to get through to their leader, but we're definitely going to kill at least one. That's that. Putting the Valkyries on the front line is probably the right choice. You want your weaker units having to take the hit, so Freya doesn't have a ton more defense than a Valkyrie does. Alright, now to back Kojiro off so Vega can go ahead and handle the liberating of the town. There we go. That done and said, and everything, I think it's time for me to head in. Oops. Oops. Again. Oops again! Get away! Troy, back me up. Uh-oh, Bolt. Don't let her come at you from an angle. Whew, that was close. Alright, she's nice and exposed. Hit her hard, hit her fast. That's what she said. I'm sorry, I had to. Is that gonna be enough? No! 3 damage off! Oh. That's the thing with lawful units, folks. Their damage output isn't always as high as a chaotic unit's. Especially with the way I build them. But we should have enough healing to make up for this. And with the unit leader gone, this unit is no longer a threat. In theory. Loss? Crap, I'm gonna have to back Morris off. He's actually headed for the stronghold itself. Alright, Bolt, head for the stronghold. Morris, I think you should have a turn to finish them off. Alright, everything else should be solid. And looks like Beatrice wants a rematch against Kojiro. I don't know why anybody would want a rematch against Kojiro, but hey, here we are. Oh, a crit. There goes both the Valkyries. That's okay, Thunder Flare away. Kojiro can take the hit. Can you? Whiplash. And once more with feeling. Oh, right, you get 2 casts. My mistake. Sick 'em, boys. Now, are you still going to come after me? Because I wouldn't suggest it. Looks like you are. I admire your tenacity. And by that I mean, Vega, finish him off. Okay. No! I have to stop Morris. He might accidentally capture that stronghold. And that's the leader down. Yes, this might mess up Vega's alignment, but I'm okay with that. And yes, I am keeping an eye on alignment as folks are getting much closer to their advanced classes. Don't worry, like I said, I will end up using the item glitch if I have to, but I think I'm well in line for everybody. There isn't anybody that's off course like they used to be. You should be okay, Morris. You're okay. Alright, so we got a peek at some of the units defending their main stronghold. Takato the Enchanter, flanked by a Stone Golem and a Balder Golem. That's going to be brutal. I need a very powerful magic-based unit to take that on. And but first I'm probably going to need a unit to assassinate their leader. A unit that's strong enough defensively to handle it. That might end up having to be Troy's unit. Ugh. Put me to sleep too? This is bad. I might lose this fight. Ah, Thunder Flare. Owie. Alright, we should be good. I think we've dealt enough damage. Nah, that's a loss. Darn it. Forgot that Ninja Master was still lurking around and I hadn't killed the leader yet. Alright, Morris. I don't care what alignment you are, ogres must die. Ow. Thankfully, unless it's a crit, I'm not in danger of losing a berserker at this point. And appears the ogre isn't resistant to any of the same elements that a golem is. So I suppose that's a fair comparison point to make when you compare an ogre to a golem. A golem will come with certain elemental resistances, whereas an ogre will not. Alright, good. I think I want Morris's unit to keep going. To finish that off. Capturing! Don't capture Vega! Bad Vega. And here's the witches then. So that's good for future reference. This is where the progenitor used his power. Did you see the mountains east of town? They were created by him. Hundreds of years ago this land was flat, but it thrust itself upwards, killing hundreds of indigents. That's what legend says. The hell is the progenitor? Why do I keep hearing it? Ah well. In the meantime, Kojiro, you can return to the group. My unit's still going to attack the Black Knight because thankfully Troy didn't pass me. And I'm attacking from this side. Beautiful. That's going to take some of the wind out of that Black Knight's sails at the very least. It's still a pretty optimal position, and we still have the Tiamat in the back, so I don't think we've fixed anything. Guard. Owie. Evil Dead. Boom! That's what you're dealing with when you deal with a fully matured dragon. And you're not dealing with it once. That's why I'm going to be using an Elemental Pedra. I was going to save this for the Cockatrice unit, but apparently this is more of a threat. It used all of its attacks on that one character. And since it died, it stopped using the rest of the attacks. So I think it's important to note that when you use a Pedra, it will count all of its attacks before the attack actually starts. That's okay because we weakened it enough that we can send Troy and clean that up. And everything else needs cleaned up as well. And because he's attacking from behind, we don't deal with the Tiamat's AoE attack. But we still have to deal with the Tiamat's physical attack, which is not something to take lightly. Oh! He breath attacks from the front row, but he does the breath attack of his previous form. I didn't know that. Good to know. I'm not as familiar with the dragons as I am some of the other characters and units and stuff. I just tend to not use them. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Alright, but things are still going well. I think this will still count as a win, especially when Vad gets another attack in. It still counts as a win. Excellent. Troy should be able to liberate that town in my absence. If he can beat the knights, the Ninja Master, and Bolt liberated the town of Balera. Let's see what's inside. Hello, you're going through the mountains, and you'll settle this with me, Prince Yumel? I'll wait patiently for peace. Yes, yes, peace, peace, peace. Let me see, what else was on my list? A dragon shield is on my list, but I could have sworn that's a consumable item and not an actual piece of equipment. If it is just a consumable item, I'm not terribly concerned. Alright, with Morris there, let's send Wind on his way. Leia, you're way behind. We need you to catch up. The rest of these units are going to be cleaned up in short order because I've got them completely surrounded. But as per I did last time, I will be cutting out any unnecessary cleanup crew stuff. Because you don't need much strategy for cleanup crew, you just need to send people in and start murdering. So I don't think it's terribly interesting and necessary for you folks to see. But if you use a strategy similar to mine on this level, you will find yourself forming a pincer formation against the back of the river, which causes this situation that is occurring right now. Meaning your cleanup crew work will be pretty easy because you don't have to chase very far. And as usual, and as I've noted in the past, but I'll note now again, not only is stuff that you find on the ground starting to be more and more important, especially as we're nearing the time where people's stats are getting closer to being able to get a do class up, killing units is also extremely important. Because we're also finding special equipment that increases our stats and everything like that you wouldn't normally be able to get your hands on. Captured? That's 2 captures. Darn it. I need a high alignment. There are ruins on Mount Keralith. I used to explore them when I was little, but nothing's there. Just a bunch of stone pillars, nothing of value. That's what you think. What? That's not a spoiler. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I just assume he has no idea what he's talking about. Alright, so send Bolt in. I'm going to have Morris rest up. Vega, I'm going to move you across the bridge. Kodro, I'm going to do the same with you. And I'll move Kodro there. Alright, so let's start cleaning things up, shall we? Units that I need to give experience to. Morris's unit needs some experience. My unit needs some experience. And I think Vega's unit needs some experience. My unit needs some experience because I've got people that are the closest to leveling. But I also need... I'm going to have Kodro keep an eye on that direction, if the game would let me. Alright, so Vega, head this way, and then this way. Me, I'm gonna head out as well. Leia, I need you to make sure they stop heading south. Basically, it's a cluster. So, I'll be back once cleanup crew is done. And we are back. Whew, that was a lot of work, but it wasn't terribly difficult, so I'm not going to complain. In the meantime, I'm going to be sending out Troy to gain the attention of both of these units, because right now he's our lowest leveled unit, and he can handle them the best. Everybody else is going to be backing him up, of course. I'm not sending him out there solo. As for the cleanup crew, I had Bolt and Vega's unit absorb most of the experience. Vega's unit might not have needed it as much, but Bolt was actually falling behind, and I couldn't have that. Bolt is got to be top-notch, ready, ship shape, to be ready to fight anytime I need him. As for Troy, Troy needs to go there. I didn't find anything specific interesting from the units I killed, but since I've already told you should be killing every single unit at this point anyway, I don't think it's necessary to let you know unless there was a very specific item that is required and hard to find for a class. And if there ever is one, I make it a point to tell you. So I'm sending everybody else out a little bit more. If I don't get the attention of that Diana, then good, because I will send a chaotic unit to go finish it, because it's a mostly lawful unit. And by mostly lawful, I mean it has like 3 neutral characters and 2 lawful. Alright. Gios is the boss of this region. Archmage in the back with 2 goblins and an ogre. Extremely exposed leader. Go for him and you'll be fine. As per usual, you don't have to worry about experience farming from the leader. Just kill him. There's no reason to hold back. Alright, let's assassinate that enchanter before so these golems don't hit very hard. Ugh. Remember, he's a really, really defensive character, so that's more damage than it looks like. You don't want to give these golems any... What the hell ass is your doll thing? Little angel that does virtue damage? Speaking of virtue, I think we're getting close to finding the Pedra virtue, and by close I mean it's in chapter 3, so never mind. Ugh. Yeah, Troy's unit's probably not going to be the one that wants to finish those golems off. Though I probably should anyway, just for the XP. Go make friends with Cornelia. Those golems do need to be taken out, though. So it's either Morris, Wind, or Kodro. Sick of Wind. Hopefully we can stop... Oh, they're heading for the base. They're probably going to escape, though. Yeah, that's the downside of fighting units this close to the enemy stronghold. That Diana should get 3 attacks from the back row, but nothing too special except for the damage that she's dealing, which is quite a bit. Special bow and everything, that'll do it. I think the bow that you use as a Diana is called the Yeetval. I don't know off the top of my head, though. Ow. Nice crit. Ow! Ow! Holy cow! And of course, Aisha barely heals herself for any. Darn it, I didn't press the button soon enough. I should have used a Pedra. Darn, Troy took a beating. And that was an all-physical group. The problem is that their physical attacks are hitting my back row, and that's not good. So... let's have Morris. No. That would be terrible. I need a unit that can handle being hit in the back row. Leia, that would be you. Troy, head north. Everybody else, I think I'm gonna head straight for the stronghold. Except for Kojiro, of course, because I don't want him overtaking us. Vega. And I can't remember if I'm sending... Nope, Morris is stand pat at the moment. So head out. And bolt. So apparently, whatever the hell what was it called again? The progenitor is, made all these mountains. Killed a bunch of people while doing it, too. Well, as we want units that can take a beating in the back row, I suppose mine will work just as well as Troy's. Just thinking ahead, I suppose I'm not too worried about the leader of this stronghold, because he's, like I said, he's very exposed. It'll take only 1 or 2 rounds to be able to kill him all the way. Owie. Haha! Guard! Alright, bow user, back off. Or you're just going to keep attacking. Fantastic. Start heading up, Kojiro. As usual, though, Kojiro ends up being the star of the show in many ways. Handling the cockatrice unit like he did was beautiful. The amount of damage he can output to take out that, the leader of that unit was beautiful. Just beautiful. One more hit and their leader's gone. I don't mean to be absorbing all the XP for myself. I don't need too much. I just need enough to level up most of the characters in my unit once, and I think I did so during Cleanup Crew. Sorry, I thought I heard something weird, but it was something weird. It was my ear ringing. It has a tendency to do that. I have hearing damage. Yes, run away. Alright, I'm gonna stop being the star of the show, because that's boring. I'd rather Bolt be the star of the show. Alright, now I'll start heading out. Kojiro, that's quite enough. Ugh. That figurine of Sleipnir is almost a pain sometimes. But I mean, nice problem to have, right? Oh, my unit goes so fast that sometimes I have to call them back because they're gonna overtake everybody. Woe is me, I'll play this world's smallest violin while I discuss my issue. In a game that has as much automation as this, I think it's okay to have a situation where you have to pay attention. Humans. What business have you here? You are not wanted. Die. You say humans as if you aren't one, buddy. We'll find out when we run you through. Bet you bleed like a human. Yep, this won't last long. Unless we miss a ton. Dramatic music, though. So why are the ogres back? Is it my father creating them? Or is it you, Mill? Ugh. Maybe we can get some answers from this guy. The day of reckoning is near. That's not an answer. That's the exact opposite of an answer. That just raises more questions. Come back here.
Ah! Don't die yet!
So yes, I did leave some units behind. This is okay, though. Like I said, if there was anything specific that we needed to keep an eye out for, I would have mentioned it. Hrasvilg. These are some interesting names. Anyway, we got ourselves a new staff. In the meantime, questions abound. What am I supposed to do?
It's been a while.
Well. Father.
I heard the Revolutionary Army is not willing to settle this matter peacefully. Is it possible for you to withdraw your troops? Nothing will be gained from this. I don't want any more bloodshed.
And what if we withdraw? What about the class system? The Central Division? The Lotus Empire? Sure, we can avoid this particular battle, but that's it. Nothing will change.
Nothing will change. Are you concerned with only the visible changes, the changes you can touch? Do not be misled by a narrow definition of revolution. By nature, change takes place over a long period of time. Slowly but surely, the same can be applied to our society. Radical changes create unwanted distortions. Haven't you realized that your way is, in fact, nothing but a temporary solution?
Are you asking me to ignore the plight of those suffering as we speak? However much you talk about ideals, you'll never reach the people unless you get in the thick of it with them. Father, you hold your ideals but do absolutely nothing to achieve them.
He who is in a higher position can become benevolent, because he does not need to be concerned about his life. He can care for others. He can set aside his own feelings and fight for others.
This is very reminiscent of the classical philosophy of, like, the upper class, and even in the United States, our society has a similar situation. Oh, well, trickle-down economy and other theories like that say that those in the highest positions, those who have fulfilled Maslow's hierarchy of needs in many ways, don't need to be concerned about their own safety and can worry about the happiness of others. Whether or not this is true isn't necessarily something that I might agree with, but what Ankaseth is arguing is that those who do become benevolent and go into higher power can create a lifetime of peace for a generation, and that much may be true.
Yumil plans to make the kingdom a better place for all people. He is looking to reformation. He holds this as his duty as a member of the royal family, and I will help him in every way possible. Lamar, can the Revolutionary Army lead Palatinus? What is the result of revolution? What do you see beyond the battles? Is Sir Frederick, are you of the caliber to lead this kingdom?
I don't know.
But are you telling me that Yumil can do it? Is he the one of such caliber? I can't be positive, but I want to trust in him.
I'm afraid I can't.
Farewell, Lamar. Follow your own path.
Father, tell me before you go. Why did you accept being branded as a murderer? Why didn't you tell them the truth? Why? Why did you leave my mother?
You never change. Why, you ask?
Do you know whose orders the assassin was following? The person who plotted Yumil's death?
It was our king. King Procus himself.
That's not possible.
His Majesty was not well back then. The misfortunes that fell upon him, beginning with the Queen's death. King Procus blamed it all on Yumil. The prince's peculiar features made his Majesty think even more so. It is also told that he took counsel from a foreign sorcerer. It is true that I murdered a noble, and I decided not to say anything unnecessary. That's all. That's a heavy burden to bear. But to forgive the king so easily? Well, maybe it didn't come as easily as we think. So we could head on to Wentinus and the epic battle that will end this chapter. However, Azure Plains is still open to us, and I fully intend to go there and experience that stuff. That stuff. I'm amazing at commentary. Thank you very much for watching.